CT back on the rally here. Let's drop it down to college football and talk about the Clemson Tigers. They had their Fiesta Bowl Media Day today, and Dabo Swinney, head coach of the Clemson Tigers, was asked about how fortunate he's been to only have worked for 2 programs in his 2 decades of college football coaching. Take a listen to Dabo talking.
You know, I didn't have to stay here. I had several opportunities to leave Clemson, a bunch. And it's not something I run out there and publicize. But I've had a bunch of opportunities to leave Clemson, and I had opportunities to leave Alabama when I was there. But I like my job. I like where I'm at, and you know, I learned that a long time ago. You know, the grass isn't always greener. I've always tried to just bloom where I'm planted, and I've always been close to my guys. So, you know, if I had left Clemson, I'm probably not sitting here.
Sound the alarm bell, CT. Overreaction time for this 120 on the rally. Dabo Swinney has been coaching for 23 years. That's a fact. He spent those 23 years between just 2 programs. That's also a fact. First as an assistant at Alabama, and then as an assistant and now head coach at Clemson. Overreaction time, CT. Like I said, will Dabo Swinney leave Clemson for Alabama when Nick Saban retires? Is that an overreaction to think that or not?
That's a tough one, Tyler. It's hard for me to answer. Normally, I take a side.
You got to for this one.
He's only been 2 places. He played football at Alabama, got his start there as a graduate assistant, but he's built something at Clemson, whereas I don't know if it's really a step up to go to Alabama. Alabama, of course, is a tradition-laden program. Obviously, it's a powerhouse program. But in my opinion, when you have something going so well, why leave? I think Clemson will pony up the money. So to give an answer, I would say it is an overreaction to think that Dabo Swinney will leave Clemson for Alabama when Nick Saban retires. Look at what he's done. College football playoff 2 straight years, 6 straight seasons of double-digit wins. He can recruit at a high level.
Yep.
And I think that the way people see him at Clemson, he'll be more highly regarded. Once you go to Alabama, you're always going to be compared to Bear Bryant. And then, if you follow in the footsteps of Nick Saban, you talk about some big shoes to fill. I'll pass on that, not to mention being in the SEC. So as much as Alabama has all the facilities and all the resources that you would want, pretty much anything that he can get at Alabama, I'm telling you, if he asks for it at Clemson, he will get it at Clemson too with what he's done and what he's been able to accomplish. So I think that's an overreaction. I think he just stays where he is. But in the landscape of college football, you don't see guys staying in one place for 10, 15, 20 years. They always go into greener pastures. But is Alabama greener pastures in his mindset? I really can't answer that for him.
Yeah, I would think Dabo would be more likely to go back to Alabama after someone who immediately succeeds Nick Saban. Probably fails to live up to that standard.
Then he goes, but you don't want to immediately follow Saban.
You don't want to be the guy that follows the legend because that is impossible to live up.